Good morning and thanks for joining us on your station of choice, your award-winning Ray Power political platform. Welcome. It's Monday and I'm Abulu Osemwaho, standing in for Amici Anakwe. With me on the program is Teve Tiaf. It's a bumper package we're having for you this morning. All through the weekend, we had a court ruling in Kano removing Labour Party lawmakers-elect and the governor of Abia State. Will be dwelling on that. We'll dissect it. We'll have a lawyer to look more into it. And we also had over the weekend that Kwankwaso had a meeting with President Buhari and is causing uproar in Kano. What is the meeting all about? Is he planning on jumping ship or whatever the meeting is? We'll look into that also in the course of the program. The Election Petition Tribunal continues today. The pre-hearing on articles application is on. Also, on Saturday, the various political parties named the number of witnesses they'll be presenting in the coming weeks. So we'll look into that as well. And a very interesting story, a court ruling on the closed circuit camera contract the Nigerian government or loan the Nigerian government collected some years ago to put CCTV cameras across Abuja. The CIRAP, there's a civil society group, took the government to court, and the ruling on that matter by Justice Emeka Nwete is asking government to explain details. We'll dwell into that. But one of the biggest stories today, if you agree with me, is the commissioning of a Dangote refinery in Lagos, in Lekki, Ibaji Lekki, in Lagos State, Nigeria. It's a big one. We're expecting how many presidents now? About 5 to 7 presidents, and including the president-elect is back to the country. He'll be expected to be there at the commissioning of what some people have described as the largest single refinery owned by an individual in the world. Dangote has been there in the business space. He has been there. He has delved into oil now. And we expect that the refinery will solve myriad of challenges in the oil and gas sector. But you see, some people will also say that this portends a big trouble for state-owned refineries. Let me not say everything. Let me invite our colleague, my friend Teve Tiaf, to wade into this. Congrats for the Dangote refinery, Teve.
Amici, almost used to it. Abulu, good morning to you. Good morning, listener. It's a big one in Lagos. Just as by this time next week, we'll be talking about the president-elect, the vice president-elect, the 28 governors elect and their deputies taking oath of office. So it's barely 7 days. A big one in Lagos, the Dangote refinery. When he was stopped, when Nigerian people stopped him from acquiring the refinery, the country's own public refineries in 2007. Recall the Obasanjo administration in the dying days sold out the refineries to him. You know, it took street protests by NLC and civil society to stop that, so that when Yaradua, the late Yaradua, came into office at the time, he reversed the sale, you know, and all of that. Since then, he has had the idea of having a refinery of his own. After how many years after his coming to birth today, we congratulate him. We also congratulate Nigeria and indeed Africa, because several African presidents will be there with the hope that they will be buying directly from that refinery. There are those who are expressing cautious optimism, and I join them for several reasons. One, we were told that when the PIB, Petroleum Industry Bill, now an act, comes into force, that it's a game changer. It will turn around everything in the industry. We are still where we were, or where we are. So, and there are those who are saying it's a game changer, is a history, is this, all sorts of things. It's fine, it's good, we welcome it, but we wait to see how this will eventually manifest to change things. One good thing we're sure is the importation, the huge importation will stop when eventually this comes on stream. So
some financial analysts, TV, say that coming on stream of Dangote refinery will shrink the European Union supply to Africa, and also will break the NNPCL monopoly of controlling the supply of petroleum. NNPCL had been importing, and with the coming on stream of Dangote refinery, it will break that monopoly. And we also understand that 650,000 barrels is expected to be refined a day.
That's the capacity. And we all know that there is practically no company in Nigeria that operates at 100% capacity due to several reasons, even technical reasons to save the equipment. And so there's no way 650, but definitely it can't produce 650. It can be very close to that. I
think they're saying 500 for a start.
Whatever it is.
But maybe a big question. Nigeria government has 20% stake in that refinery. People have asked questions. You remember the Ethiopian air issue where Nigerian government has
the
Nigeria air issue where Nigerian government was supposed to have about 15 or something percent. People have argued, we want to be like the Petrobras, we want to be like the Saudi Arabia oil company. In Petrobras, for example, government owns or has a 54% stake in Petrobras that we talk about all around. Government has 54% stake. That is why some persons will say, one of the presidential candidates was saying in 2019, Atiku Abubakar, that he will sell the refinery, he will sell the refineries. And people argued with him. And probably he was looking at this direction of the Dangote refinery. If you sell to individual, with that phrase, people have said, government has no business in business, come to play a very good role. Will eventually this price of petrol that people are so scared about, if subsidy removed, will go down. TV, when the telecom industry was deregularized, Nitel monopoly was broken. You have the other players in the field now, and Nitel is nowhere. The big fear is, will the refineries not go moribund with Dangote coming in?
That will be left to the political leadership, what they want to do. But we won't say even left to the political leadership. The Nigerian people, the civil society, labor and everybody, even us in the media, we need to hold the government accountable. And that's why some of us are expressing cautious optimism that we may possibly be moving from a public monopoly to a private monopoly, which is also not in the interest of the country. So there needs to be a balance. If the federal government was delaying in fixing the Port Harcourt refinery, the Kaduna refinery, Warri and the rest, because of Dangote refinery, then that's what some analysts, are saying, that look, the delay in all of this was, for the Dangote, to come up and all of that. But Labour and every other person, we must be interested in getting these refineries, the public refineries, up and running. And the Dangote refinery, for whatever it is, that's why I said some of us are expressing cautious optimism. It's not that when he starts producing or supplying, the fuel price in Nigeria will drop. That's a huge lie. Because he will be, the crude, the raw material that he will take to refine will be sold to him at the competitive international price. The only difference, the only difference is the
exchange rate, which will be in naira,
and then the import, the cost of importation, landing cost, and all of those things that are built into the pump price. That is what we reduce. So we'll be getting at a better price than what we're having.
I hope Nigerians will appreciate him and not force him to embrace exportation. But that's what I'm talking about. I hope we'll appreciate him and we'll give him a competition, because the competition is the only thing that will make him stand and sustainable, so that at least we will benefit from it. Why am I saying that? The government has said they are going to revive the Kaduna refinery and the Port Harcourt refinery and the Warri refinery. If they don't revive it, you are giving Dangote a monopoly. If you revive it, you are giving Dangote a competition, and that will make him struggle for the market. And in the long run, the price of petroleum products will go down. But Teve, you have said rightly that the labor unions need to wake up, because if the Nigerian government plays politics with our refineries, Dangote can come in the future and acquire these refineries, and the monopoly will be there. We talked about cement. Cement. When Dangote came into cement, we'll say, oh, private sector has come in. Your Benue cement died. the Portland cement died, the Sokoto cement died.
He bought
He
the
came in, and you
business.
see what I'm saying? He came in and bought over the Benue cement. Is it Obajana? He bought it over. So there is big
and the
fear.
Kogi State government is still fighting over that.
Yes, and once Dangote remains afloat very well, and there's no competition from Nigerian refineries, eventually he will come and buy them off, and you will have job losses in those refineries. That is something Labour has to wake up to and ensure that government indeed revamp or revive or rehabilitate those refineries. David, I think we should go to Dangote has not paid us for us to be talking so much about Dangote refinery.
No, it's because of the public interest issue that we are discussing, and clearly, and that's why some of us are cautious about this. One, he recalled that in March last year, the Dangote fertilizer plant was inaugurated.
Exactly.
It's on the same
Dangote Freeze industrial zone.
Yes, the same place, and all of that we're having. There's a port also that is already serviced, and all of that. Has that brought, in the last 1 year, has it brought down the price of fertilizer? No. I'm a farmer, I can clearly tell you no. This year we don't even know how much, we are going to buy. For cement that you mentioned, he enjoys a huge chunk of the market. Has there been any difference in the cost of petrol, of cement?
No,
I can tell you,
increasing.
I did a little rehabilitation of my farm, and I can tell you how much I bought. In fact,
it's 4,500 in Abuja now.
Yeah, and cement. Exactly, and about 4 million for the whole truck. So it has not. He's a businessman. Mm-hmm. That's one thing Nigerians should know. He's a businessman. He's after profit. From the documentaries we've watched and reports we've also read, there are credit facilities that have gone into this company. Those loans need to be paid. And all of that. So Nigerians should not think he's a Father Christmas that he will just come and do. Clearly not. He will be out for business. And we need to check. For public interest in all of this.
And some people say the president in this last week has been commissioning, and he commissioned the State House Clinic, TV. And I had the wife of the president granting interview to the media, and she said that going forward, president, vice president, and their families will not need to go out to receive medical attention. That when she came in, the State House Clinic was not up to standard. She had to stay some weeks abroad. Is it right for the president's wife to be saying at this point in time that the incoming president and their families will not need to travel out? You see, people are picking holes in that comment, and also why renovating at the tail end, twilight of your administration?
I believe it's a 21 billion naira facility that you are looking at. Definitely the procurement, installation, and all of that could not have happened in a short time. We all were here when you raised issues with the State House, quality of service and equipment at the State House Clinic, and we commended her at that time, and what we've seen today. I know Fact Fight dealt with this issue clearly this morning, so we may not need to go into the details of it. But suffice it to say that the president told myself and every Nigerian that in the last days of the administration, Nigerians will be proud of what he has done. Perhaps this is one of them. Don't forget, he has also commissioned the Kashimbila
plant,
the
hydro plant,
the Dadinkowa in Gombe, and several other things.
And Garba Shehu will say, my friend, will say that when the Buhari leaves, the Nigerians will miss him, just like what Jonathan said when he was leaving. So, David, when we finish this program today, Nigerians will miss you. Look, there's a very important issue I would like you to delve with, because you did special report, you did documentary on that issue. Court ruled that the Nigerian government should explain what happened to the $640 million Chinese loan acquired for the CCTV camera installation in Abuja. Now, that has been a very, confusing to most people, because you collected loan from Chinese government, and it's Chinese people that collected the contract to install the CCTV cameras.
It's clearly what the Chinese part of the contract or the funding you get from any Chinese Exim Bank, and all of that.
So they will be the one to execute.
Yes, exactly. they bring in their own so-called expatriates and all of that, and then they repatriate the money back home. Clearly, it's not just in Nigeria; it's across Africa and wherever they have their footprint. The CCTV camera, we need to understand that it's not just for Abuja; it's for Abuja and Lagos. It's not just a CCTV camera thing. It's a huge communication project that was supposed to involve security, the police, and every other person.
That was supposed to.
Yes, that every policeman
since 2018.
Every policeman was supposed to have,
body cam,
a phone. No, a phone.
Okay, to receive a live feed.
And all of that. But we are where we are today. And some of the papers are saying ask Buhari administration. Some are saying it's in the last few days. The correct thing is to say ask the federal government. This Chinese loan was taken not under the Buhari administration. It was taken by Jonathan administration. It was executed, and the project failed under Jonathan. Before Buhari came in 2015, and we've been on it.
But there's an interesting part of this, TV. The Minister of Finance, why Serap went to court, was because the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, said in 2019 that they are servicing the loan. And when she was asked, you are servicing the loan of a project that we have not seen? And she said she's not aware if the project is not on. All she knows is that we are servicing the loan. Don't forget, during the time of Jonathan that you mentioned, Okonjo-Iweala was not only the Minister of Finance, but was the coordinating Minister of the Economy. And there were a lot of hues and cries that she was not giving mobilization or she was not releasing money because she needed to see the progress of project. Wouldn't it be right for the Minister of Finance to have a monitoring, to have something concrete to have reported, to have responded to those questions? She didn't know the progress. We have what they call a monitoring and evaluation in most ministries. So she didn't know how far the installation has gone, and she was releasing money or she was servicing loan. So it's a big question she needs to explain. Court has ruled. Let them explain what happened to the money. Is it just servicing a loan that we don't know how it was executed? Go around Abuja, TV. The potholes, what they call it, the sewage holes have been removed by, the manholes have been removed by scavengers. And no CCTV camera is capturing them. Nobody is being persecuted. Nobody has been arrested or to be prosecuted. So there are issues with the CCTV camera that maybe TV you give us more before we go for the news.
I'm not sure we can discuss the CCTV camera project on this edition of the program alone, because so much is involved in it, that we may not be able to disclose now. That project was almost completed. What was left was for it to, be test run, and all of that. And guess what? The then Minister of Communications, if somebody Johnson, Mobolaji, we need to get the correct name. She was just supposed to make approval for diesel and all of those things, so that project will be, test run, for that period, and whatever issues are there will be addressed. And that was not done. That was the beginning of the crisis of that project.
Anyway, the court has ruled, and we expect the Nigerian government to react. Before we get your mails, it's good to know that resident doctors have suspended their morning strike, and the hospitals will be bubbling. If you are ill, patronize Nigerian hospitals. The doctors are back at their work table. Amaka, what do you have for us in the mails?
Thank you, Abulu. Welcome to the mail segment. I am Amaka Okoro.